Hello there, CCHers. I'm so excited that summer is here and things are starting to return back to normal and school is over. I hope you're as excited as I am too. And I've just been able to get outside and see people and see my friends and kind of talk to them and catch up on life. And it's weird to think that like a couple weeks ago we were like all cooped up and kind of living in our own houses and confined to that, and now things are returning to normal and it's like people exist? What? That's crazy. But it's just been awesome to see faces and people laughing and smiling again, and it's been really cool to see that. And I started my internship for the summer, and just being able to see those people every day and be around them has been a blessing. And I'm excited for the journey ahead this summer, and I can't wait for the summer retreat and to be back in the fall to see everybody and be around people again, more than just 50 at a time, and just be able to see everyone. So this week we are covering Luke 7 through 9. So if you have not read those yet or caught up all the way through, pause this now, go read that, and then come back. So as I was reading this, and in the books that I've been reading and the conversations I've had with people, there's just been this one word that keeps like recirculating in what's talked about, and it just keeps popping up everywhere. And that word is faith. Faith. And I recently wrote a paper on like what faith is and like what does it really look like and what does it mean. And in Luke 7 through 9 really kind of talks about this, and then he was even mentioned in chapter 6 of like what faith is, and it's different in the Bible compared to like what is talked about in today's culture and how that is and what that looks like. And so the first thing that stood out to me was that faith is mentioned actually 4 times in these 3 chapters, but it's actually talked about a lot kind of like indirectly. It might not say faith, but it's talked about indirectly. So right off in chapter 7, we see this story about the faith of the centurion and how he kind of humbles himself and asks for his servant to be saved, and Jesus commends him for his great faith. And he's a Roman. That's crazy, like weird to think that he has this faith and he saves his servant, and that's cool. And so although it's not like really talked about like what that looks like here, we kind of get like an allusion to it of kind of like humbling ourselves before God, and even like the centurion, this master is kind of alluded to like God is our master, and we are the servants, and we do what he says, and he commands, and that kind of servitude and faith is what's going to save us. And then so another passage that stood out was when the sinful woman anoints Jesus later in chapter 7, and she's wetting him with her tears and wiping them with her hair, and really like humbling herself, and pours this perfume on his feet, and she shows this great love for Jesus, and that's how our love should be, and daily and lifelong. This great love, this great passion, this great faith that we have for him. And what does he do? He talks about, if you have great love, your many sins are going to be forgiven, and you don't have to worry about those. But if you love little, and you have little devotion to God and your faith, then little is going to be forgiven to you. And He has ultimate authority of where we go after this life, and I don't want to waste it. I don't want to lose that. I try daily to just be better in my faith, grow and keep multiplying in this. And that's what He talks about in the parable of the sower in chapter 8, which is just really cool. This is kind of like really a good story that I love, about faith and what it really is and what it looks like, and how this seed is either, thrown away or fallen away, or it dies or isn't multiplied. And so, like, are you producing good soil? Do you have good soil and a good foundation in God and your personal relationship that when you hear His word, it's gonna multiply in you, and you're gonna hear it and you're gonna do it, and you're gonna keep having this fire that's gonna fuel you. That's what He talks about when there's yielding of the crop. And like, I'm excited for like the things that we're gonna do in the fall, and I'm just like daily just trying to hold on to that and that faith and keep that fire until then. And everyone I talk to is they're excited too, and they have this fire. And so daily we need to continue that, and other people are going to see that, and they're going to be like, wow, this guy has this great love for God, and he's always happy and nothing phases him, and I want that, and they're going to want that too. So you can just draw people with your faith and your love, and actually doing and living out God's word daily and lifelong. That's kind of what faith is. And it talks about that, and I love that passage. Another thing that's talked about is that if you want to have this great faith, this great love, and this great relationship with God, it does come at a cost. And we should be willing to pay that cost daily. And so, in chapter 9, after Jesus predicts His death, He talks about how we must deny ourselves and take up our cross daily and follow Him. And whatever we're holding on to, whatever things that aren't glorifying God, we got to get rid of those today, now. We can't wait. Because He tells us here that if we try to save our life and hold on to things of the flesh, we're going to lose it at the end. But if we deny ourselves, have this great faith for God, wanting to do daily everything that He preaches and talks about, and constantly repenting and denying ourselves and our own desires, that our great faith is going to save us. And we're going to spend eternity with Him. And He doesn't talk about that once. He actually talks about that twice in Luke chapter 9. Later, at the end, when people are asking about, following Him, but they say, wait, let me go back and bury my father first. Wait, let me go back and say goodbye to my family. Wait, let me hold on to this one thing before I go follow you. Let me enjoy it a little while longer before I give my life to you. But we can't do that. We gotta go now. We gotta give up whatever we're holding on to that doesn't glorify God. And we gotta go. We gotta leave it behind. It's us and Him. It really is. I mean, yeah, there's other people along the way and that community. And they have that great love, that great faith. But before you can be a part of that community, you gotta leave those things behind. Whatever you're holding on to. So I just want to ask you, what are you holding on to? What's holding you back from going all in and having a true faith? That's what's talked about in these chapters. And letting go and just going all in for God. Like, we can't be half in. We can't have half of our heart set on God and half of our heart set on things that don't glorify Him. We gotta be wholeheartedly. You can't be halfway through a closed door, you know? You can't be halfway into something. You're in or you're out. So I just pray that we can just go together today and go all in and continue to have that daily, going all in for God and wanting to leave our old self behind, deny our own desires of the flesh that aren't going to save us, and go and follow Him and actually practice and do what He tells us in His Word, and leaving our old self behind. So again, I want to ask you, what are you holding on to? And is that thing that you're holding on to glorifying God? And if it's not, we got to get rid of that. It may be hard, but we got to do it, because the path ahead is great and it's awesome. And we got to have that great faith. If we call ourselves Christians, we got to have that great faith, that great love, and we got to deny ourselves daily. And we got to go all in and stop saying no to God and His constant pursuit for us. So I hope that this week has inspired you and convicted you. You want to go all in and every day and carry that out until the end of your life, because life is just so short and so precious. But after that eternity with God is so much greater. But we gotta earn it first. So thank you for tuning in this week. I hope you tune in to the rest of the weeks to come and keep studying with us. And you guys have a great summer. Can't wait to see you back.